action surge.
It was quite a fall.
It was. I think that's the highest we've fallen from.
Yeah, it felt
It's
high.
certainly
The highs are high.
that way.
Yep.
The highs are high and the lows are in caves deep beneath
deep,
the earth. I feel like the phrase "deep beneath the earth" is one of those phrases that, as a writer or as a DM, you can get away with almost as many deeps as you like if you have the confidence to commit to it. Because it's a little bit like one of those jokes that becomes not funny and then funny again, in as much as it becomes nonsense and then quite good. If I was like, in caves beneath the earth, deep beneath the earth, deep beneath the earth. Like, do you know what I mean?
Anything
Like
you
could just about get away with it. What do you think, everyone? Just of that, obviously. Forget action surge. I just want to talk about my writing.
That's really good stuff. Thank
That
you.
was great.
so
That was
much.
really powerful stuff. That was.
I think this episode was a much needed episode, and one that so much stuff was thrown at us in the previous episode.
Yeah.
That it's actually quite nice to take a moment for everyone to digest it and do it in their own way. And
It's an interesting thing, episodes like this, because from a DM's point of view, I'm surprised sometimes by the things you do, and I will get to some surprising things that you did in this episode. One of them is about God, one of them is about poo. But generally speaking, I've had the basic ideas of a lot of this worked out for a really long time. And therefore, I guess this is a sort of a mini behind the screen thing. Like, as a DM, it's quite a useful lesson to be like, never forget the impact of new information on your players, how much decompression time they might need, and like how necessary it is for you guys to take stock of where you are sometimes. It's very hard to predict that that's what you're going to do for an entire episode, because if I predict you're going to do that and then you don't do that and you move on quickly, then I'm a bit screwed. Yeah. So you've still got to have like options and things to do and places to go. But yeah, as you say, that felt like a needed episode from your guys' point of view.
actually, I was thinking about this. We didn't really deal with any of the things that were said by Themself. It was more to do with the fact that the almost like the episode that happened today could have happened the previous episode.
Yeah.
It's like
When you
just
arrived.
the order that we did
Yes.
things in.
It was intended to be.
Yeah.
I was just very.
So it was intended to be.
Oh,
so,
yeah, 'cause
so
you just-
for example, that moment where it worked out slightly differently, but the tribe were always going to have that moment with you because they wanted to reunite themselves. They wanted to be with you again. And originally, I think it was, if I go to my own notes, like where you meet, I thought you might, because I think you were told, oh, you need to go to the infirmary, you need to get checked up, you need to have something to eat. Because Themself is trying in their own way to make sure you're taken care of.
Yeah.
And really the first moment of divergence between you and Themself happens with Themself off camera.
That was kind of intentional. It was
Of course.
like it was a thing of I in that moment going, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to come and see you. Don't tell me to go and do those things. No, we need to have a conversation.
At the very end of the conversation that you had with Themself in the previous episode, you said, Themself said, go and see your tribe before you leave. And I said, I will, but not because you've told me to, because I want to. And so those things have been there for a little while. And it's I like the old dark. It's odd. It's quite hard to describe because it's very hard to describe characters. Very, very, very hard to differentiate between NPCs. Hence my tour of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. And Northern Ireland, what did you think?
Yes, it was very good.
Thanks very much.
Good.
Only can use it as a joke voice because it's not good enough to be used in a dramatic context.
Really off camera later.
Oh, don't, Alex.
No, trust me, she'll say on camera. She's not worried. Not about Harry's feelings.
No, absolutely not.
It's a tough one. It is tough.
But you made it sound so easy. Thank you very much. Thank you. I didn't expect you guys to split so quickly and to all have your kind of different things that you. No, I didn't at all, and I didn't. So I said to Doug just after the app, I'm sorry that you spent so much of that off-screen eating stew, but I didn't want to get. Like, I knew it wasn't. Not in a bad way. I knew it wasn't kind of as key a moment as, say, what Radian was. You can tell by and large when people are planning to do something. I had no idea that you were going to go and speak with Themself, but I knew you were planning on doing something, and I sensed there had been less planning into getting more stew. So I was like, Doug will probably
there
be
actually
fine.
was a plan.
Okay.
Yeah, I was planning on trying to meet the cook or whoever was cooking and arrange with them to have that somnium.
Oh, yes.
made
You're
up.
sort of, yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I was saying to you earlier when we were having a break. It doesn't matter what I plan or what you plan.
No.
Or whatever any of us plans,
Yeah.
because all it takes is one of us to go, I do this.
Yeah.
And then suddenly everything shifts and changes. And you're having to either abandon your plan or find another way. Like with the somnium paste idea, I had to slip it in later through in a different way, which was equally, I know.
Wilson's fully had enough of us today, by the way.
Yes, that was not deliberate.
No, it wasn't, and I managed to bite my
But
lip.
it could be now.
Yeah, but you bit your lip and then that set Alex off.
No, I don't think Alex looked at me. I think Alex flew. He was.
You just went, "Ugh."
That lip and that just sets me off.
We spent a long kind of. It felt. I was glad you saw Scout. I was glad you got that bit. The creche it's just laid out. The cradle just happens to be on the way through.
2 for 2 for causing chaos now in crashes.
But it's quite nice because also I don't think you guys have ever encountered. I mean, I mentioned that there were some children in Haven.
We'll never forget the children from Mouse. I was going to tell them.
Oh, of course, you were going to turn them into an
We're
army.
actually, if we're being truthful, horrible around children.
Yeah.
We tried to mobilise children in Mouse into an army.
Mm-hmm.
In the last live show, you turned them into
A stampeding mob.
stampeding mob.
So
We rose
stampeding
up.
socialist
We rose
mob.
up. Yeah, I was fully ready to turn them against the capitalist machine.
yeah.
Which isn't horrible.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
What else? We've
Well, and then now you.
And then there's now.
Teaching them Firebolt.
And then teaching them Fireball.
Yeah.
Firebolt. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but that was.
But Gandalf's not a great influence on kids, but he's still great with kids.
Yeah, and then the kids we met on the way to Mouse.
Oh, you saved that kid?
Yeah,
That's
but
what I
like
mean.
you're still teaching them to be
Yeah,
bad.
teach them stuff. But I think there's a playful whimsy to it. It's going. It's not like we're not training them to be death machines as much as obviously I wanted to.
Train them to be
The dice
different.
wouldn't let you.
I think it's fun, and clearly what happened today was another example of like how fun it is to be a child, and how that there is always that sense of fun in it, and also the episode needed it.
You have to have it.
Like I love the fact that the party was split because it's I's episode. I think all of us are very acutely aware that this is the coming home, so we can't really be in a scene with I. Other than to support the journey and the redemption and all of these things, so by us having our little mini vignettes, it allowed us to have our moments that created either a bit of levity or a bit of different, dynamic to what is essentially a very, very serious contemplation on the meaning of family. So it was,
And also that it's truncated, right? Because when you're from the moment that you get to the Four Forests and you see those first indications of what ended up being the Children of the Midnight Moon to when you left Haven was maybe 4 episodes. I think it was quite a long time. Whereas really you spent an episode and a half here. And therefore what you will do brilliantly is go, actually he hasn't got long. So give I the space he needs. Because you haven't got long to make the journey. Now it's in a way it's a less. I don't mean this in a bad way, like a less complex journey, but like nothing's changed for everyone around I. Dolly moves into Haven and everything and everyone is very different from when you last saw them. Scout is very different from when you last saw them here. Whereas it's like you're slotting back in, and the point is
But the point is that I has changed.
Exactly.
And that's why that was the most driven we'd seen I for a really long time. Like he was doing things and gathering people and he wanted clearly to make an impact and pass on what he'd learned and what Parvis had learned. And it was really nice seeing him in a real sort of not leadership role, but like just really in a really strong position.
Confident.
Decisive and confident, yeah.
But it is almost leadership now, right? That's what it feels. Or it's like You know, when you're stood on a diving board about to dive, you have gravitational potential energy. It's like leadership potential energy. That's like you're not necessarily, you haven't necessarily taken the plunge and gone,
But you're capable.
follow me, everyone. But you're like, yeah, I think there's something within me which feels like it could, if released, become that.
This is just like another. This is like a comparison to another piece of media, but it's that Rocket Raccoon moment. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but like it's Guardians 3 where it's suddenly he realizes, oh, I actually have stuff to offer in a kind of way of like guiding things actually, where before it's that realization. I think also I was just also very aware as a player, but it also fit into the character, the narrative, very aware of like, I was talking a lot and I wanted to try and bring the rest of the party into it.
Because also you are able to speak a different language that no one else understands. And there's a lot of fun to be had in switching between those languages and the different versions of him we get. But that's, whereas if someone's talking Elvish, everyone at the table speaks Elvish, right? I think.
I don't.
I do.
You two don't? Okay, right. Well, say for example, the better example is when we're with the Grenwids. There is no way of them having a conversation that is not for the entire table or the entire room.
But so like I thought as well at the time I was like, well, in character, like I would be like, hey everyone, come meet my new family. Look at all the cool things they can do.
Yeah.
Like it's proud of them.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that they've got and who they are. But it's also maybe I can leave some parting wisdom, knowledge, something, make an impact, show the kobolds that outside isn't so scary and there's some cool stuff out there. Yeah.
Which is very, like, that definitely came across. It was really nice.
Yeah. Good stuff. Anyway, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been...
I'm kind of looking through the... I'd love to know where the thought of going back in to see Themself came from. Because we haven't played for over a month.
Yeah, it's actually been a really long time.
It's been a really long time. And as we said in the show, the main show, that we were recording this 9 days before it's going to come out, which is quite unusual for us to have a reasonably, like not a crazy tight turnaround.
Oh, this is a fine
Like a crazy
turnaround,
tight
though.
turnaround would be it's coming out on Tuesday and it's Saturday. But you know, it's still a reasonably sized gap. I remember actually we were recording quite close together all the way through the previous month. We were recording quite a lot. And I remember thinking, I'm actually ready for a break to try and get my feet under the table and sort of get a little bit ahead. And then you invariably don't.
Yeah.
But is that idea of going and speaking to Themself something that Radian, or you have known that Radian wants to do from when we played last? Or did it just strike you today?
I thought about it this morning. And because... in that episode, every character has important things that, come out about them. Very important information came out about Radian, but it came out essentially as the B plot to something else.
Totally.
So, and also because ultimately there's a lot of information coming out, there's really no time to dwell on it in that moment. Radian didn't really have a reaction to it. It just kind of existed. It happened, and we move on. And it also wasn't something that I think would be best discussed from an audience perspective with the cast, because there is so much other stuff going on. And I think there are still threads that people are going to want to pull on, and why not just have a one-on-one conversation with a god? It's the only time that he's going to be able to have a conversation with a god. And he does it with most people in positions of power. Where he goes up to, like, if there is an authority figure, he'll have a one-on-one with them. And he'll usually go, I don't know who I am, I don't know what I'm doing. And he's seeking guidance from authority figures, I think. Like, what should I do in this position? I don't know what I'm doing. And then ultimately give them unsolicited advice. So it's like,
because he did it with Grawnoth,
Yeah.
with Trusk. Did it with Lesota, Grenweir.
Tried to do it with Spider Prince.
Tried to do it with the Spider Prince. Would have you? I mean, if you'd got to know Nox at all, you absolutely would have taken Nox to one side.
Absolutely,
and been like, here's what I think you need to know.
Yeah.
And then so you've done it 5 times.
Incredible energy.
And he'll probably keep doing it again. I also think from an audience perspective, what it allows, what we were able to give, is a continuation of this very, very piecemeal, but ultimately very complete idea of who Radian is over a very short space of time, without superseding the main plot line.
Yes.
of the thing because it's not his moment.
Yeah.
But actually going, here you go, here's some fun stuff for you. I'm now not going to discuss this with the rest of people. We move on and it's all about I.
It actually also ends up serving the I story because I walks out of that room and goes, okay, cool. I'm moving forward and I'm moving on. To have another character go, actually, I just need to step back in there.
Yeah.
That's I's God, and yet he's not like, do you know what, actually, there's things actually I want to ask, or more than that. It ends up serving it in that way as like a
That I's had
demonstrating
conversation.
both like parts of the
Yeah, and you were very present in that conversation because you spoke so much about themselves whilst you were having these other conversations that actually themselves spoke a lot about themselves without really saying much, but also exhibiting emotion over Parvis's death. We got to see that private moment that otherwise we wouldn't have been able to see.
Yeah.
We got to actually have that moment where themselves was saying, I don't really know what I'm doing. Don't really know what I'm doing. And that's a really fascinating, humanizing moment that we don't need to ask again. But what a really cool thing to go that understand that these godlike beings are completely flawed.
This is the thing that I found really interesting about, and I don't mean a response as in I'm kind of trying to weigh up if it's going well or badly, but the response from viewers and like the community to themselves. So often there's a disparity between what your intention for an audience is for an audience that an audience should receive and what an audience actually receives. And it's a fundamental thing that goes to the heart of all communication, right? The reason people fall out is rarely because of what people mean. It's normally because of the distance between what they are intending to mean and the meaning that the other person takes from it. And I have not changed Themself in any way, but it interested me how many people were like, essentially like God Themself is so selfish and just doesn't care about anything. And I don't think that's a wrong interpretation at all. And I love the fact that we have a story and a world and characters and hopefully, clearly in this case it's worked, but not always, NPCs that are complex or grey enough that there are conversations to have about their motivations and what they mean. And we see it sometimes when a character makes a really bold choice and people are like, oh, I would have done that differently. And you go, well, yeah, because they're flawed. And because Themself is a god, it carries with us, I think culturally within us, in, like Westerners in the 21st century, the idea of maybe like a Christian God, right? And omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. Like they're the three things. And these gods are not gods like that. They are essentially incredibly powerful people who have divine powers on top of their power. And therefore they are prey to all the same insecurities and fears and doubts and failings of mortality. Because to me, that's what makes the fact that Themself has created kobolds like themselves. Flawed.
They're very Greek. It's a very
It's
Greek.
It's absolutely that. It's absolutely that. And so I don't view Themself as that some people were like, God, they're just like Nox. Now, I really don't think that.
No,
I don't think they are, and there were a lot, and people out of, as I say, I really love that there is an interpretation where people are like, wow, that's really gaslighting saying, or it's really controlling and it's coercive. And that isn't what I intended for them, but that's clearly what some people have taken from it. And so actually it was a real opportunity, I thought, and people still might think the same thing, to show that there was to show that between I and Themself, there was an intention which was being communicated imperfectly. Now, it's been communicated imperfectly again with Themself and Radian, but there was a generosity that Themself was able to have towards Radian, which they weren't able to have in that conversation with I think.
You also gave us this really lovely little nugget that, again, were this a TV show, it's a lovely Chekhov's gun, which is, how do we defeat Barabbas? Dragons. And not that you...
Have you tried dragons?
Yeah.
Have you tried dragons? And I'm like, I didn't think that was what was going to be a thing. And it may not be what we even tug on, but a fun, that's a lovely idea that might be a possibility down the road that we can do that. But we have so many different avenues to go down. It's like the order of where we go. And also, I really enjoyed, it was the opportunity to be quite nihilistic because I think... the idea of having I was going to do more stuff with the deck of cards, but it wasn't the right time. But the idea of the deck of cards being out of place and therefore Radian is out of place and he's taking on the pressure of the fact that he's the reason this shit's happening because he's that's what he thinks is the problem. So he's like, I'm going to have to go back and seal it again and then stop all this shit from happening. Right, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to bring anyone with me because they'll end up dying. So it's like, go back through there.
Yeah, I'll sneak away in the night and just go back to the Feywild, and then everything's
going to be fine.
Yeah.
Figure out to do it first, sweetheart.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And then Kobold, so then we have Scout as well. And how, I mean, if we have a B plot, for a long time Dolly was the A and I was the B, and then that's swapped, and now kind of Radiant's become the B and you've almost become the C, and then I kind of moved. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all sort of moving and swirling around at the moment.
Yeah.
I was pleased you saw her.
Yeah.
And
I was
met
gonna,
her.
yeah.
Yeah, of course. But you also have the opportunity not to.
Fun in that.
No, I know, I know. And she was able to drop a little nugget about Aska being the person who got.
So Aska told us that
Aska told you she introduced. Yeah.
But then I was like, oh wait, those two stories don't line up.
Well, that Aska essentially got Nox into Somnium.
Yes.
So that means she would have known how to get hold of it.
Yes.
And it follows, therefore, that when Nox was like, how do I get a load of Somnium into the city?
Yeah, but that's quite a different thing than just supplying him. Like
that she could have set him up with someone or been part of the logistics of bringing it in.
Yeah, because she never mentioned that.
No, she didn't.
So that's like a okay. Interesting.
I'm gonna have to kill Aska.
Yeah, no, she's the only one we love.
Surely there are some steps in between talk to kill.
Yeah, I don't know.
But no, it was good. It was I was glad that she wasn't a part of, because this was obviously like a bit more of a cool down episode, and it was like at first it's like, oh no, did she come here with him? Because she knows that the cult is based on lies. So how is this okay with her? Like that she's treating people that ultimately, shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But it stands to reason that Somnium's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, it is. And also that it's perfectly, to me, it's absolutely Nox-like to
exploit someone.
Totally.
Yeah.
And he would have totally freaked out when he realised she was there because she can blow his cover. So when she goes to him and goes, I know it's you. It's taken me so long because I'm so addled. He goes, try my stuff, knowing it's too strong for her, then keeps her in those cells where essentially you guys got held, and then goes, I've got a task for you, go down into this thing.
Trying to get rid of her.
Just trying to get rid of her. Just trying to get her lost in the games. Yeah, lost in the sauce.
And interesting that it is a cool down episode. But when it's like the moment that I has been kind of thinking about building towards. Even I'm aware it was a cool episode, and yet
only meant in a sense of combat, by the way.
No, 100%.
Totally
like when it was like it is, and yet my palms sweated more in that episode than any big combat moment.
Because it's big spotlight moments for you.
But there's moments like the roles for the bit with the chain and Parvis at the end.
That was great.
Oh, it was great. I'd completely forgotten you had that. There are also always those moments where I'm so like, I've said this before, this is like the backwards way we do persuasion, because that speech is too good.
You can't make him roll. It's like,
and I don't want to make you roll because I don't want you to get in that one. I really don't want you to.
That's what I was like. Because I knew there was probably going to be a little speech.
Yes. Quick, take it. Yeah. But I thought it was a really beautiful distillation of the worldview. It was fun to have you interacting with all these different kobolds.
Yeah.
And that from my point of view, they all kind of think the same thing. And that's kind of the point. That you're not going to, if you go and you speak to a load of different tavern keepers in Barun, you're going to get a load of people who have personal grudges, who have a sense of old scores that need to be settled, one guy that drinks too much, one lady that, that eats too much, one person that can't sleep, one person that doesn't like outsiders, one person that's a pillar of the community.
These are all pillars of the community.
They're all just like, great.
Yeah.
This is where we are. Mm-hmm. This is where we're happy to be. We are it's not that they're happy or sad at the bars that surround them. It's never occurred to them that there are bars.
Yeah.
And it's more about making them aware of the cage than it is anything else. It's just going, you do have other choices. And they sort of go, what do you mean? Like, that isn't something that's occurred on like a societal level. And the model for this, for most of them, is like a version of I at the very beginning, who didn't get it, would have fit in perfectly here, and would probably never have rocked the boat. He just would have gone along with it like all the rest of them, because that's what you do, and that's what tribe is.
These guys would have come here. Like, if they are the party without I, eventually they'd be like, we need to go speak to the only remaining god.
Yeah.
I would have been here and just would have been one of
would have been one of the ones going, hello. Yeah.
It shows how unique and special he is. Like, he's almost the I that we've always known, but we haven't seen him in comparison to other kobolds.
I loved braggadocious I as well.
Oh my god.
That was so fun. It was so fun to see the thing of it. It felt like, you talked about school in the last one, it felt like going back to your old school, like having got your result, like being asked to come in and give a talk in your old school, being like,
do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? I'm gonna just take my trumpet again.
Oh, I know what you're going to talk about.
Being made a fellow of Bruford, and I'm writing my speech at the moment, and I'm literally writing stuff going like, it feels weird to be like, and then I went and did this. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're kind of like, but it feels weird.
I didn't feel like that, though.
No.
I was loving it.
I lent into it a lot. The character, not the you,
Yeah,
of
the
course.
character, he absolutely loved it. Had a great time with it. It was the idea of like, that thing of, you know, like going, I always wanted to do this, and like just running around with the kids and like riling them up and like getting them excited. And he always wanted to do that, but it was the thing of, well, I never will.
It's
because,
also
sorry.
No, you shouldn't be sorry. They were building a dice tower while we were talking.
But he never did it because it was just like, well, of course I won't do it because that's, you know, not good for everyone here.
Well, it's interesting to be in the cradle with all the little ones and be like, oh, they're all pure impulse, and then they learn not to follow those impulses.
Yeah.
And the fact that like in all of those kobolds is still like a hatchling who's just like running around and wants to like smash stuff.
Yeah.
But they figure out that you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And there's something very human about that, I think. The idea of just going like, oh yeah, we're still everyone wants the biggest slice. If you want cake, you still want to eat the whole cake.
Yeah.
Like, you're still like, oh, I recognise that this cake is going to be cut into 6 now. I totally get it. But also, there's a bit of you that's like, but what if you had all the cake? Because you try to explain to a group of 2-year-olds that you got to cut that cake in 6, and they'll all be like, this is a fucking farce, you know?
Yeah.
But it was really nice going from the cradle to seeing old kobold, seeing the whole kind of lifespan of
Oh
kobold.
yeah,
grave.
and the moment with the moment with the old kobold was really nice.
Which was again a lore moment. It went from this. It was really lovely. Look, it was like here's some amazing world building that we're like teasing what we're going to go and see. The way that story really lent into something really magical. I thought it was a very cool way of telling something that was very emotional, understanding the context that we're in now, and then kind of giving us a little snapshot into where we're going. I think, and it was like just a little tease, and it felt like everything had its own place, and because we had that moment to breathe, it was like a really cool character movie.
I thought in that moment, we might end up getting a little hint as to where the dragons might be. I thought maybe that
keeping his pirate
old
dragon.
kobold was going to
Honey, I got to figure that out first myself.
Can't give you what I haven't got.
maybe. No, I'd like to keep you guys guessing for longer than that, but I think there's something really what I didn't realise until I started doing 2 things I didn't realise until we were halfway through the ep, really. One is that the diversity of kobold caves, which we witnessed in the caves of Themself beneath Elvelion, means that actually the kobolds can have lived quite different lives from each other, which makes them more interesting. And then the other thing is that they tell stories, so I have to have some stories. And I had stories ready in Vale, you know, because I'm going, well, it's Alakash, it's words. But actually, we've made a point of stories being such a big thing that they're doing. And then we have the hatchlings like practicing telling stories to one another, which in my head is like imaginative. It's like playing doctors or playing teachers.
It's like that Kidzania. You know, when you can,
Yes.
you have in the US,
Yes.
essentially kids can go into like a miniature world, I suppose. They can be firefighters.
like a town.
Yeah.
They can go, and if they want to be a firefighter, they can just.
I still want to go and do that.
I'd like to do
an
that.
adult.
They do adult nights.
Essentially, it's secret cinema, right?
Yeah, but they serve alcohol there then. For the adults in the evening, you can do it and get drunk.
Yeah, let's do that. We should do that. We should all go to Kidzania.
Yeah.
Let's get drunk in Kidzania on a day that they say that you can. On a specifically calendared day. But they're storytellers. And I don't think I thought about... Like, I don't feel... Here's a question. When you're meeting other kobolds, I'm like, oh, you remember this kobold? He's good at stories. He's not that good at hunting. What would I have been at the beginning? He's good at, he's not so good at.
Hunting.
Yeah.
Hiding.
Like I like hunting,
Yeah.
like and scouting, like sort of. Yeah, first of all, sort of like going out and seeing if you can detect gnomes and leave traps for gnomes, things like that, and kind of like make sure that there is a bit of a perimeter that's kind of being maintained through some facade of like, oh no, we can't go that way. There's the fucking tree is full. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that, which is just creating a appearance of a natural sort of like perimeter that's keeps them safe. That and hunting, I think he would be bad at cooking.
Yeah.
And I think initially bad at stories, but over time
will now have become, and I really like that because I would have said good at hunting, bad at stories. Like, he's the inversion of the one that you first met, and Parvus and your stories then being the stories that are being told as you leave. Go ahead.
No, I feel like with Parvus gone, like I is the ambassador almost to the outside world for.
I think he sees it as a kind of mantle.
Yeah.
And this isn't. In my mind, you're a bit like Jar Jar Binks.
No, but I know what you mean.
You're not in any way like Jar Jar Binks, but at the same time, the journey of essentially that outsider in that world that then becomes a spokesperson, a statesman for that thing, and is the person that goes up and goes, I'm going to be able to connect, or the idea that you might connect or tell stories or at least bring them
Like
back.
how Pippin ends up being like a knight of the Citadel and then goes back to the Shire. Spoilers for The Lord of the Rings. Just the books, though. Dressed in like Gondorian armor, and he's like on Aragorn's council for like the rest of his life, and there would just be this guy kicking his legs at the end of the table, and everyone would be like, "How did he get here?" And he's like, "Because he's fucking earned it. Because he's earned it." Yeah, that he reminds me a tiny bit almost in this of Robin Williams and Jumanji when he suddenly comes out of the game and he's like, there is so much happening out there. There's so much that's happening.
Yeah. I had a great time.
And then,
Thank God.
and then we're onwards.
Yeah.
What do you think you're walking into?
I'm still trying to work out what these really slow, lumbering things are that then move really fast that was described by that one kobold. As soon as it came up, I was like, my head was rifling through the monster manual and going, which one is it? What does that?
I think I heard Aoife's brain doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Go through the Rolodex. Yeah, do you have a sense of like what you think is ahead?
I have a sense it's very, very, very dangerous.
What else would it be?
No, but like...
But there's danger and there's danger.
Not like, oh, this will be fun. We'll head on in and just throw ourselves at it and see what happens. I genuinely think this could be bad.
So rather than like dangerous, like the toad in the caves of Themself that you kind of have to beat to get through the portal, like dangerous as in Harry, have built something that could kill
something
you.
very, very scary. Not obvious. Like it won't be just like, oh, big scary boss. Like I think that's obviously what we're going for. But I think what is around that in general adds layers of how bad this is going to be.
Like
it's going to be legendary. Actually,
Dolly has had a lovely character arc moment. I has had a character arc moment. Kel has had a character arc moment. Elowen has had a character arc moment.
Yeah.
Radiant has had a revelation, which is sort of this kind of understanding, which is like the beginnings of like a character arc. And we're getting to the point now where it's like, okay, hold on. The threat of like one of us dying, Because before it's like, okay, it's a threat and it's a danger. And if we do something really messy, we could die. And stupid, we could die. But also, we're telling Sharon it's important to, like, you know, there's going to be moments we kind of want to see a bit of an arc and stuff. We're getting to that point now where it's like, we're kind of there. And I'm like, is this the moment where I actually think you're kind of going, if one of you dies, one of you dies. So be it.
Yeah,
Two of you die, do you know what I mean? Like that's
more for what we're about to find as well. And then I think if you add things like, you know, the somnium, we know that's getting worse. You know, if anyone you fail your checks, it has a real impact in terms of saving throws, constitution saving throws, what that do if you keep failing. And then you're going into a battle with not enough people who are competent in battle because of everything that's happened on your way there. Things become scary very quickly.
Well, you gave us some fucking healing potions, so I'm imagining you don't want us to use them. You know?
That may or may not be terribly effective.
They're either going to just work or they're going to work well. So then there's no like, turns out it was pure somnium! Ha-ha! You become the mushroom.
I think, you know, we were talking about it earlier, like mushrooms have this network of communications, and I think there's something linked to, I think there's a link to some stuff. Probably not. My mind goes, Nox is still alive. But like the essence of basically it's the knowledge of all of the different mushroom people that have been affected by it, and essentially it has this like dangerous hive mind. That's my thinking.
I love hearing the theories.
I think it's like something Shadowfell related down there.
I think the fact that the Gloam are down there is it because the Gloam are ultimately they're just people who have joined a cult. And it's clear there's scarier ones, a bit like us, right? Like there's people who can fight, and then there's people who can fight really well, like us.
Yeah. They're just the web. They're just
but the fact that the Gloam are down there is this very sort of mortal element to what's ever down there. Like regular people are also down there.
Yeah.
So yes, we're talking about magic and stuff, but the Gloam are still in there. And it's a weird juxtaposition of going, oh, this is very magical mushrooms. And you're like, right, there's still a bunch of people in cloaks and masks down there as well.
Yeah.
So why?
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Well, and also, are they controlling these other creatures that were described, or have they just learned how to avoid them, or...
We'll find out. At least we don't have long to wait.
No.
You don't have long to wait. We're playing
which is actually a nice bit. Which is actually a nice bit. There's
playing
nothing
tomorrow.
worse than when we leave on something like this, and you're like, "Cool, see you guys
Yeah,
in like
this would-
3.5
yeah.
weeks."
yeah.
There was something quite nice about having that great big conversation with Themself, and suddenly finding yourself in the middle of all the kobolds, and then having the chance to go away and think about what you want to do, where you want to go.
Yeah, it is interesting, though, that we haven't yet unpacked everything that Themself told us.
No,
We haven't
Still will because we
haven't been together.
split. Yeah, we split.
Yeah.
But some of it was really big, you know.
Yeah. I get the feeling the first bit of, you know, the next step is, you know, it's the journey and it's the right. We walk and talk. We have our sort of like West Wing moment.
we shot the whole thing in a one-er.
Yeah.
It's 2
I
hours.
think being surrounded by kobolds it wasn't the moment.
There's no such thing as privacy in
No.
that. There's none. You're like,
Everywhere.
I didn't describe it, but as you're all lying down, there's couples being like, oh, and like, just lying near you or lying next to you because
You sort of open your eyes and they're just
like,
looking at you now.
he doesn't sleep, your friend. But yeah, I agree. I think that there's this, you know, the beginning of the next step is your opportunity to go like, so what the hell happened there?
I still hate the gods.
Yeah.
I realized as you were doing the recap, I thought, I need to go back and listen to or watch the end of the last episode.
Yeah, I watched it back.
There was so much. I forgot.
There's a transcription.
There is. We
yes.
should talk about this.
I've already messaged them and they were like, you don't have to. I'm like, no, give me your address.
So-
I'm sending you stuff. Because also, there's now more.
Yes. Well, my concern with everything is always like, how can I tell what I feel is the best story? And as someone who is not like neurodivergent, I still will like. There are things I won't do. So like, I don't describe. Even this time, I implied a bodily function. I didn't describe it in great detail.
Other people did that for you.
Other people did that for me. But like, I won't even. So when she said I need to empty the buckets, I'm not going to describe what's in the bucket, even though it wouldn't bother me if someone did. I actually think that would help. That would help me build a sense of what this place is like. But something I hadn't anticipated was that for people who have auditory processing issues, the echo and the distortion on the mic is quite a tricky thing to cope with when Themself is talking. And I was looking at this kind of conversation of people being like, oh, you know, the subtitles don't really help because they're auto-generated and like that's not really helping. Is there any way does anyone have a transcript? And it was Elfanriel, who on the Discord, who's a lovely member of the Discord, who's also there for the watch-along. I know because I jumped in on the watch-along on the most recent ep, and they all went, oh shit, Harry's here, something big's about to happen. So I need to get a secret Discord name that I can jump into watch-along.
No, I like having that. I like watching them sweat when one of us turns up.
It's a little bit like watching TV or like watching a film that you're not sure you're allowed to watch, and your mum or dad comes and stands in the doorway, and you're like, this is Saving Private Ryan, but it's technically, I am 15, so I am actually allowed to. Don't worry about the guy with his guts hanging out. It's a 15. And Elfanriel went through and did a word-for-word transcript of everything that was said and laid it out in such a way that when our characters were speaking, they were on the left-hand side of the page.
So great.
When we were speaking out of characters on the right-hand side of the page, they included some like facial expression and some gesture and little bits of like, I think that means this. And it was just...
It's lovely to read.
And loveliest, kindest thing to do, which must have taken them forever.
I am quite... I'd say sometimes sensitive to sound. So
yes.
It was on the cusp of what I can kind of deal with, and like being able to go back and sort of be like, yes, okay, yes, I got that, yes, that's correct, was just really very much appreciated.
Yeah, so thank you, Althan, for doing that.
I will get your home address out of you, and I will send you something.
Dox yourself.
Well, dox yourself. Dox yourself. Don't
actually dox yourself.
Don't actually dox yourself.
No, stop being polite on DM.
Stop being polite
on DM.
I'm
going to get your address.
Be ruder. Get your gifts. Get your... Okay.
Secure
why don't we roll you secure the bag. Why don't we roll you some polies and I'll tell you about my favourite bit. And my favourite bit... Oh, I've dropped a die.
Oh, no.
My favourite bit...
Oh, no, don't say that.
I liked... I enjoyed, from my own selfish point of view, the moment where I realised that he was miscommunicating with that kobold who was like, essentially, don't talk about my god like that.
I love that everyone around the table started clicking.
Yeah. But I thought that was quite interesting.
To be clear, I, the me, not the character, clicked. But the point is that I, the character, not the me.
Oh, totally. And
it's
I think,
but changing
I think it's,
that he.
You don't want every NPC to be completely pliable.
Yeah.
Even when they're nice people. And I thought that was a useful reminder. And then I was delighted, terrified, and then really enjoyed when Radiant decided to go back in and see Themself. If you were playing a computer game, that room would be locked.
No, there'd be a chest in there that you would have to have gone back and found that chest. It's like when you start in front of a waterfall. I wanted to move forward.
No, I didn't think I didn't think he was going to be there. I actually was going back in to look at.
That's what I thought.
I was going back to look at the little drawings.
Oh no, that's where they stay.
No, of course. Yeah. So I was like, well, even if they are not there, or whatever, I can go and have a little look at the drawings.
Does Themself ever leave that room? Does Themself wander through the caves with the other kobolds?
Not often, I don't think.
But would?
Would?
Okay.
It wouldn't be an issue. They wouldn't die if they did it.
No, it was more just like, do they keep themselves
to themselves?
Yeah.
Keep themselves to themselves.
Yeah, but like in some weird way where they're still trying to have that kind of godlike separation.
I don't know, actually. It's an interesting question. Yeah. I don't know if I fully figured that out in my head. I feel like they would be accessible if you needed them. But I just really... It didn't occur to me that was going to happen.
Going to the staff room.
Yes, it's like going to the staff
room when you're a child.
Yeah. I would imagine that maybe sometimes Themself would tell stories in the Hearth Cave. But not regularly. And maybe sometimes they would go and like look at the hatchlings and make sure everyone was all right. And also, they would necessarily be out there because they would have absolutely okayed Scout getting in because they're the only one who can get him in.
Yeah.
So they have said you can bring those ones that need us in.
Yeah.
Which again is like a sort of useful, without doing it through dialogue, way of softening Themselves' stance. Yeah. That they are like, look, I'm not, like they said to Radiant, I don't want anyone to die. I don't want anyone to get hurt. I just can only protect so many people, and these are the ones that are mine, so I have to protect them first. What did everybody get?
97.
Ooh.
Nice little, not special, just like solid.
Yeah?
110.
Hey.
We're getting into nice territory there.
Comfy.
Yeah.
Comfy.
90.
Again,
Yeah.
solid.
Good. It feels good.
The definition of middling, 75.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
It's 150.
Oh, she's smiling. This is good. Oh, girl, this is good. This
No,
is
but
bad.
not for the reason you think.
Well,
If you
you're
go
gonna-
back, you'll see like absolute glee on my face. 69.
Yay! That's hard! Thank you very
That's
much
a
for...
win-win.
Thank
Which
you.
one?
No,
Win,
but no one
win.
said nice.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Jesus.
Nice.
And we got that wrong.
Say it again.
No, we just can't win.
Why is that? Why?
That's what you
Literally,
do.
just
Someone
before we
says
started
68,
rolling, I even
nice.
turned to you and pointed at my phone battery and went, huh.
Nice.
It was
I know.
69. Like, I'm so sorry I failed you because you did it for me and I failed you.
Well, we're grateful to you for being here. We're sorry that we let Wilson down, and we'll see...
Every day.
Wilson.
Yeah.
What
Every
do I
day
say?
we're sorry
I
we
never
let
remember
Wilson
what I say
down.
at the end of action sets.
DD, baby.
Oh, yeah. D&D, baby! Bye, everybody!